What's good? First live stream ever on Motor City Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, man. Lions had a draft if you missed it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Um, a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of mixed reactions as usual as a Detroit Lions draft does bring. I'm not new to live streams, just new to this channel. I've been putting a little bit more effort into the channel. What's going on? I have a whole nother channel as well. Um, but like I said, man, I'm gonna get there. I overreacted to the Frank Fragnow pick, whatever the guy's name is. I'm not gonna call him Frank. What the fuck no more. I think the second pick made the first pick look better with Kerryon Johnson, and then I think what was the fifth round pick of Terrell Crosby made both of the picks look better. Um, one thing I didn't look at with clarity about the Frank Ragnow pick, excuse me, was the fact that the Lions, actually identified they had a problem. My number one priority for the Lions this offseason, my number one problem this offseason was the fact that the run game. The run game had been ignored. It had been, you know, thrown in the back. It had been stumped up, buried, whatever you want to say, in the Pontiac Silverdome. After Barry left, I mean James Stewart had one good year coming from Jacksonville, and then Bale and Bush had a good year, but we hadn't been able to run the ball. A little fun fact I found out: Stafford is 7-1 when he has a 100-yard rusher, and the one you lost he got knocked out the game. So, the Lions actually identified a problem, and it was I'll get to that in a minute. What's going on, Fox? What's going on, Von Montgomery? The problem was the Lions when they couldn't run the ball. They identified that this offseason. They put a lot of effort into, running the ball. Now, if they can't run the ball this year after bringing a run game coach in, a new offensive line coach, they tried to do a quick fix last year with T.J. Lang and Rick Wagner. Um, Greg Robinson kind of threw the imbalance of that crew, and now they invested a lot again into the line. They invested another first round pick, and they invested into the running back Kerryon Johnson. Now Frank Ragnow is a guy that's an excellent center. He hasn't given up a sack in his whole college career. Um, he's a big guy. He's a strong guy. One of the knocks on Dominic Raiola was he was always too small, for the Lions. He was the reason why the Lions wasn't able to run the ball all those years. Him, Jeff Backus was sorry in a lot of people's opinion. That's one of the Lions players I hated with a passion was Jeff Backus. But for years, Dominic Raiola was pegged to being the weak link on the offensive line. But that last year, before he retired, he had an excellent year. It seemed like he bulked up, got stronger. So the Lions identified they needed a bigger center. I don't know how big Travis Swanson was, but he just didn't click. He was about a fourth or fifth round pick. And Frank Ragnow has the versatility to play guard and center. He's a big, strong, physical specimen. We won't have we won't have a problem we had with Dominic Raiola where they was blowing his ass into the backfield. Excuse my French. Like legitimately. Before the year, that one year the Lions had Bush and Bell. Dominic Raiola had souped up. He was strong, big, and he had a Pro Bowl caliber year that year. After that, seeing that fell apart. So I understand the Frank Ragnow pick. I'm not mad at it at all. Now knowing that Harold Landry had an injury issue with the knee in the back. Um, I thought Isaiah Wynn was a better prospect. I thought Will Hernandez, but I think the fact that Frank Ragnow didn't give up a sack, his size and his versatility to play across the front line. Now you go to the fifth round pick. I'm not gonna go in chronological order. I'm just gonna connect the dots real quick. You go to the fifth round pick with Terrell Crosby. He's a guy that has played every spot except for center, I believe. He's played right tackle, left tackle, guard. And he's a guess what? He's a dog as far as running the run game. He's a big, physical, nasty offensive tackle. He's gonna push people back. He gonna be physical with you, and that's what we need. We need somebody that can get off and compose their will. Has a nasty, good character. He's a vegan as well. Offensive lineman. We need to run the ball, and with Frank Ragnow being the complete center, hopefully he come in and be an Alex Mack type, and I pray that he does well. With Terrell Crosby, if Rick Wagner have a little bit more injuries to have a letdown, and I think a lot of Rick Wagner issues were kind of versed for the whole line as far as Swanson wasn't that good. Greg Robinson really threw everything off because he wasn't that good, and you had to slide everything to his side. We had to give him an extra block or a chipper. And then, TJ Lane wasn't healthy. And I think eventually, when you have a lot of negativity and a lot of problems all around the team, at least your offensive line, it kind of rubbed off on Rick Wagner. He kind of wore down and was like, "Fuck it, man." He had a bad year, but Terrell Crosby provides that Adrian Waddle, type of presence for the Lions. Remember Waddle? He was a guy that was very injury prone, but was good coming out of Texas Tech, and he was a versatile lineman. He could play left or right tackle. And I think Crosby, gives him that versatility. And he's nasty. So if Rick Wagner doesn't pan out, I mean, to Crosby's gonna be molded to be that groom to be that dude that step in for Rick Wagner. And it looked good on paper, man. You got Taylor Decker. I keep calling him Eric Decker. Taylor Decker out of Ohio State. Then you got Graham Glasgow. Him and Frank Ragnar gonna battle for the guard center position. Whoever gonna be the center and guard. I think Graham Glasgow gonna stay as the left guard. I think Frank is gonna be the center. I think Lang, I heard, is very healthy, had no injuries, and haven't heard too much about Rick Wagner. That's a formidable line. I mean, a big physical line. Decker, it looks the part. I'm a big Taylor Decker fan. That was one of the better picks I've seen the Lions take, other than being really, really high in the draft. That Taylor Decker pick was underrated. I think he got hot his rookie year, and then last year obviously he got injured. And a lot of people didn't get to see him, see what he can do. The Graham Glasgow pick was another excellent pick from the other year. We're going to see what Frank Ragnow does. Lang and Rick Wagner, with Lang being healthy, hopefully they can form that rapport as well. And I get some of these questions before I finish it off again. B plus, yeah, it's hard to draft a grade. I'll give it a grade just because I see a lot of writers giving them. Why did we pass on Geis and Mo Hurst? I would address that in 1 minute. Give me 1 second. The only pick I would love to see Hurst. Yeah, I was pulling for Hurst. I was Nick. I was pulling for Hurst and Fox. I was really, really pulling for Hurst. I was a Geis guy too, and I explained the Gary's Geis thing and Darius Geis and the Mo Hurst thing. A couple other guys I like too. I don't see great picks. It was a good pick. I'm gonna get to Bob Quinn in a minute before we get to the other thing. Yeah, Landry has some back and knee issues as well. I'm gonna talk on him again. Keep asking the questions. I'm gonna get to him. Frank Ragnow makes the offensive line great. I agree. I read up on him. I overreacted to him. I'll be the first to apologize to Frank Ragnow, unless he sucks. And I'm saying, I told you, motherfuckers. Even the guard and later round looks like a potential. Yeah, you're talking about the left and the right tackle, the versatile Terrell Crosby. He's really good. He was a second, third round draft pick grade. He's supposed to be the fourth tackle and the best tackle, and he has versatility. What people don't realize is that out of the top 10 offensive line according to Pro Football Focus, 9 made the playoffs, and the only one that didn't was the Cowboys. And the only reason the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs is because obviously they lost Ezekiel Elliott. Obviously they pass catchers suck. My friend, he runs a Cowboys page, and one day maybe we can have him on here. We could talk about the draft, see what his schedule looking like tonight. We might can hop back on, but yeah, he went on to the draft, so he got a good channel. It's called DMV. I think Dallas Cowboys. Who will beat OIT? I don't know what OIT is. The Colts? I don't know what you mean. We will see. He hasn't played once. Yeah, he has obviously every rookie like that, but he seems to be steady and consistent. Frank Ragnow hasn't had 1 sack in college. And Terrell Crosby, the fifth round pick. Terrell Crosby, he never gave up. He didn't give up a sack his senior year either. So that's good money. We love a big nose tackle. I'm Settle from Tim Settle from Virginia Tech. This is the pros. Yeah, it definitely is the pros. It definitely is. It's gonna be a learning curve. The center position is a very, very complicated position. It causes the audibles. He snaps the ball. It's on him and Stafford. Direct snap it's not gonna be an issue. I don't believe. I mean, them learn each other. Anytime a man got a hand up your butt, it's kind of tough. But Arkansas, I watched them play the last few years. They had a pro style offense, even when Bobby Petrino was there. About Darius Geis, I mean, he had some shitty ass meetings, dog. Lions only want good character guys. I think after that 1 year, we had a whole bunch of arrests and a whole bunch of off the field issues. I mean, Bill. Bill. I think it was Bill Ford, yeah. And Martha Ford, I call him Martha Stewart, Martha Ford. They want good character guys, especially at the Titus Young. I didn't know Titus Young was a nut job like that. I agree. I'll get that Amir Abdullah question in a minute. I know Titus Jones was a nut job. He's in jail. He did broke in somebody's house or something. But he had some promise. I mean that one game he smoked Richard Sherman. He had a lot of promise, but he was crazy in Titus Young. Um, but they won't hear character guys. I mean, this dude Darius guys had some immaturity issues. He had a little bit of injury issues in college, but so did Leonard Fournette. As far as the injuries, he just was real immature. I mean, it ain't too much you can say about that, man. He was immature. He got into a solid match with the Eagles. That's a Super Bowl championship team. That's a real run organization now with Jeffrey Lurie being one of the most respected owners in the NFL now. He got the elusive championship, and if you can't be on time for meetings, which I was an issue. You can't respect. You can't. It's like you going to a job interview. You need a job, and you get cussing out the manager over some petty stuff. So he had some bad meetings. He had some. He showed up late to some meetings. I mean, um, what can I say, man? When you have character issues, the Lions really not too much gonna touch you, man. I think you come off the Lions board if you have character issues. Now, ever since they had, like I said, they had that one off season when all them guys got arrested or they had trouble off the field. They want church choir boys, man, and it's hard to get winners with church choir boys. You got to have a couple dudes they screws loose, in their head. But yeah, man. Geis was an excellent pick, would have been an excellent pick, but he slid, and now we know why because of all that other stuff. Hold on, I'm gonna get to y'all questions in a minute. Um, we're gonna talk about the other three picks as well. Give me 1 second on that. Um, as far as the dude that wants the Deshaun Elliott, I'm not familiar with him, but I think you said he was a nose tackle. Man, Lions have a nose tackle on Sylvester Williams. I don't know what happened to the other guy, Jonathan Hankins. They're supposed to sign him. He's a local guy. He went to Ohio State though, so he would have been more of the nose tackle position. In Bob Quinn, he made an interesting comment today. I really don't remember it like that, but it was amongst the fact they asked him about the defensive line. He said they're not going to be playing the run first or the pass first to the run no more. The Lions under Mayhew and Lewan with Sue, Fairley, Cliff Everett eventually, or Van Der Bosch eventually, Ziggy Ansah, C.J. Mosley, and guys of that nature, and Jason Jones. They played the pass onto the run. They played to get upfield and get sacks. It sounds like this defensive line they got is going to be a little bit different as far as they're gonna play it different. It's gonna be more of a gap control defense. He was saying. I really didn't get into it. I might do a video on it when I read the article a little bit more in depth. Ooh, Utah getting beat down. But yeah, they plan to have a different defense, man. And I think the Harold Landry question, maybe they didn't feel like he had enough weight in his behind to put his hand in the dirt and rush the pass rusher. The rush the rusher. I think they needed more of a more the front end, and when your quarterback is orthodox, is more being able to play the run and the pass. And for him, he doesn't play the run that good, so maybe he didn't fit what they wanted. And I think that's what it was. Landry didn't fit what they wanted. Um, he didn't play the run good enough to play the left end. Your right end should be a good pass rusher end, like Zeke has to be able to get to the quarterback's line side. Your front end has to be able to set the edge and contain the run and be able to play the run and the pass a little bit. So that might have been a little bit issue with Landry as well. But Amir Abdullah, before we get into the second half of breaking it down, he's a safety. Um, man, I don't know. Maybe they like Tracey Walker. What round did Sean Elliott come in and John Hannon? Um, but we need to trade Amir Abdullah. Apparently, a report came out. Nobody was interested in any of the Detroit Lions players for trade. So I think for camp, it's gonna come down to three running backs. I think the Nick Bowden guy, the last pick we had, which I'll get into him in a minute. I believe he will. I think you have a spot on the team unless they bring back like Michael Burton or some shit like that to play the fullback. I think he makes the team. I think it's gonna come down to whoever's the best running back left on the team. Now they couldn't trade Abdullah. I don't see them releasing him right now. I think it's gonna come down to Amir Abdullah, Tion Green, Mr. Washington. I think those three running backs and Zach Zenner, those four running backs, Green, Zenner, Amir Abdullah, and in Washington. I think those four running backs are going to vie for the last running back position spot on the team. Kerryon Johnson obviously will make it. LeGarrette Blount will obviously make it. And theoretic, those are the three that's going to make it. I'm not including the running back, Nick Bowden. I think those are three will make it. I think they're going to keep five backs on the team. So those four backs is gonna vie for the last position. Those who don't make it, is gonna get cut. You know, what will keep Amir Abdullah in the game is the fact that Amir Abdullah and Washington present return ability. You know, they can return the football. The thing that works in Tion Green and Zach Zenner's case is they provide interior rushers, guys that can rush in between the tackles and get the tough yards, especially Green. So it'll be interesting. I think that's a battle to look at camp if none of the running backs get cut. You're gonna be looking at those four running backs to potentially, vie for one more spot on the team. But going into the second half of the draft, we kind of went all over the place. We already talked about Frank Ragnow, how I was wrong about the pick. We haven't gotten to the second or the third round pick. We talked a little bit about Terrell Crosby. And something about the second round pick, Kerryon Johnson. Somebody asked why we picked him over Geis. Obviously, Geis had issues. He had issues with meetings. He had issues with being on time for meetings. And if you argue with the manager, if you go into an interview, I mean, obviously 9.9 times out of 10, 999 times out of 10, you won't get that job unless you have a plug. So, or you know somebody. Let me talk in regular terms. So, I mean, it is what it is on that fact. Kerryon Johnson, the pick, he's a guy I did the NFL draft spotlight on. I like him a lot. Um, every time I would watch Auburn play, um, he would step out he would jump off the screen. He's a guy that is compared to his running style is compared to being upright. We know McFadden was an upright running back from Arkansas. He didn't really cut it. He had injury problems. Adrian Peterson, he was an upright running back. He had injury problems at Oklahoma and every now and again in the NFL. But he had a successful career. Arian Foster was another upright. He's compared to him. He's compared to Le'Veon Bell because he's patient. He likes to pick his holes, and I think that's why you got Kerryon Johnson. His vision, his patience, his run like, gliding like, running game like Arian Foster and like Le'Veon Bell, and he was a workhorse in Auburn. I mean, they ran him into the ground some games, man, and he handled it, man. Being an upright runner, he took snaps out the Wildcat, and this not even me doing coverage. I watched him. I was like, whenever look, I'm gonna tell you, whenever Kerryon Johnson went out the game for Auburn, Auburn legitimately struggled last year. I didn't see a defense that could stop that guy. Their quarterback was all right, but Kerryon Johnson and LeGarrette Blount is gonna be one hell of a. Oh, and theoretic is gonna be one hell of a 1-2-3 punch, man. I'm telling you, that's gonna be if they're able to figure schematically out the run issues that they have as far as how to run power, how to have guys pull. The one back single back running scheme, the I formation scheme. If they're able to figure out how to run the ball effectively behind the fullback, behind two tight ends, and however else they want to run the ball, a lot of power pulling, a lot of power a lot of power tosses and crackbacks and stuff of that nature, and pulling guards and pulling centers and encounters and however they want to run the ball. If they figure out a scheme that works for them, the Lions are going to be very dangerous this year. Very, very dangerous. I think they're hanging their hats on their front seven. It's scheme, but back to the topic of the conversation, I like Kerryon Johnson. His running style is very beautiful. Like I said, it reminds you of an Arian Foster. It reminds you of a Le'Veon Bell, a big long strider, upright runner, which is not popular in the NFL. Well, it didn't used to be popular because of the injuries and not getting your pad level down. But he's a real smooth workhorse. He can handle the load. Um, and he's a long strider. He's kind of like thin in the hips. I said it on the NFL Draft Spotlight, but he can run. And he's a dog. He ran those front seven defenses in the SEC. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that hurt Darius Geis and that potentially could have hurt Kerryon Johnson was the fact that LSU didn't have a quarterback, so that really stifled Darius Geis. Geis was able to get all those yards with 8-9 man fronts, just like Leonard Fournette. And Kerryon Johnson sent a lot of 8-9 man fronts as well in the SEC for Auburn, but he was a dog. I'm trying to tell you, he was a dog. He got some breakaway speed out of that 4.5, 4.40 that he ran or whatever 4.5. I think it's deceptive, And you remember Le'Veon Bell isn't the fastest running back either. They can pick their spots. He had and Kerryon Johnson got one hell of a stiff arm and one hell of a cutback. It's possible the Lions can go to like a one cut, offense. I'm getting some questions. Redding and Brandon Powell are nice as in drafted free agent for us. I gotta check them out. Good looking, Mr. Wesley. Hey yo, what do you think about Kerryon Johnson? I think he runs too high, skinny leg. He will be great if he beefs up. I like I said, I just think that's his style. Like I said, he real thin in the hips. He runs high, but the thing about running high for him is a lot of running backs run high. I mean, Le'Veon Bell kind of runs high, but you see the adjustment that he made in the NFL. Le'Veon can get his pad level down. Like I said, Peterson ran high, McFadden ran high, um, Aaron Foster ran high. It's all about for me, for him. I don't think he's gonna get his pad level down. I think he could make adjustments like Le'Veon Bell. As far as kind of when to know when to get your pad level down and kind of be able to make adjustments. He ain't gonna overhaul his run style. Yeah, he can run high, but in the SEC, man, he was a dog. He was a dog. I think with that skinny hip, you know what I'm saying, that skinny hip and that thin hip thing he got going on, he breaks a lot of tackles though. He had a lot of yards after contact, and I think he's a more powerful runner than we give him credit for because of his body type. I think he's gonna be okay. I'm gonna trust Quinn's evaluation on taking him. I ain't gonna lie, I almost fell out my seat when they picked Kerryon Johnson, but I liked him a lot on film, and I liked him a lot when I watched him play. I didn't even know who he was this year when I started watching him play. I didn't know who he was. Okay, Sean Elliott said six to the Ravens. It was another guy, Bates from was he from Wake Forest? I liked him too as a safety. I'm kind of worried about Kerryon Johnson. I fear he gonna get run stuff, so he can't smash up the middle. Sad we didn't get Chubbs or Jones renewed. I'm not sad about Jones. I wasn't big on him, but I'm not. I don't think so, man. I think you're not giving Kerryon Johnson credit for what he did in the SEC. Like I said, he didn't play with a Matthew Stafford in the SEC. He didn't play. He didn't play with a in the JT Beard or Ohio State or Oregon offense or Baker Mayfield as offense. He didn't play with those guys. That man legitimately played with a solid quarterback, but I wasn't impressed with that quarterback at Auburn. I watched a lot of their games. Johnson made it happen. I know his body type is scaring a lot of people, but I watched this guy play. He's powerful. He's very, very powerful, and I believe that he'll have a good year. But the thing about it is, we got LeGarrette Blount. Garrett Blount, theoretic, Kerryon Johnson, whoever's that fourth back that makes the team, like I said, between guys Washington, Abdullah, Zinner, and Green, whoever that fourth running back, I think Kerryon Johnson is gonna be real, real fresh this year. I don't think they ain't gonna run him out. I think him and Blunt at least is gonna be a nice 1-2 and theoretic on third downs. I really do. I think they're gonna be okay, man. I think Johnson is not gonna get run in the ground this year, unless he just comes in to be a super rookie. I think Blunt and Johnson and theoretic, at least those three gonna play their role. I did one facial itis. I did one facial before face to face. I just don't be having time. I run a whole nother channel. I do a lot of more face on there, but it's tough keeping up with everybody. Appreciate it, man. Mr. Prime 420. What do you think their record will be? That's hard to say because shout out to Von Montgomery. He always first to subscribe and stuff. It's gonna be hard to say their record, man, because you go out training camp. You got a lot of guys that's gonna get injured as well. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NFC North draft as well too, as far as the other ones. The fastest animals have the skinniest legs. True, and some of the powerful punches in boxing have some of the hardest punches too, man. Bro, my phone died. Who better, Geis or KJ? Um, they Kerryon Johnson was the player of the year in the SEC. I had Geis higher on my board. I'm not gonna lie. I had Geis higher. I don't know because neither one of them played with premier offenses as far as quarterback play in the SEC. We'll see. I think Geis is more sturdy as far as height built, but he a mental case, man. I haven't heard anything bad about Kerryon Johnson. The one thing I didn't like about Kerryon Johnson is when he got drafted. He didn't seem too happy to be in Detroit. Maybe that was just my takeaway. Maybe he just was surreal. His parents was happy. His whole family was happy. I didn't see the shit on his face. Maybe he didn't expect to go that high. It was a shocker. Do you believe Kerryon Johnson will be our lead back? I'm hoping so. He could be. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the Lions gonna do it by committee. Like Patricia did in New England. It's gonna be by committee. I think him and Blunt and theoretic gonna be a 1-2-3 punch. I tell you that right now. Theoretic, they're gonna do some things for him. He gonna hit some opportunities that Deion Lewis got off the backfield to catch the ball. I look for I'm gonna give y'all some good fantasy sleepers too. Yeah, I gotta look at Elliott, man. KJ and Theo the second straight. I don't think Blunt is gonna be the league back. I just don't think it's gonna be on a game by game and a down by down basis with the Lions as far as the running game. Some days with New England you seen what was old boy? He was a white running back. Some days he would go off, man, because I play fantasy FanDuel. It was a white running back from New England. I can't remember his name. Burkhead, excuse me. I mean, some games he would go off, some games Deion Lewis would go off, and in some games, at one point it was the other running back they had from Buffalo, Gillisley, till he fell out the rotation, he'd go off. But I'm gonna get to more questions in a minute. Like I said, I like the Kerryon Johnson pick. It kind of caught me off guard, but I like what I seen on film from him. The body kind of looking at his body when he's running. I'm thinking when I'm watching him on film, well not on film, when I'm watching him live, I'm like, he's skinny, but he got a lot of power. I mean, he had some of the most of his yards came off contact, after contact. So he's strong. He real strong. He powerful too, and that's a running back they wanted. Was anybody else shocked that Rashad Penny went in the first round? That shit threw me off, man. It really did. I was shocked that the Seahawks took him over Geis, Chubbs, Michelle. They took him over Ronald Jones, over this guy. That was a shocking pick for me. I'm going to the third round pick. I believe it was who was the third round pick? Was it Deshaun Hand? I think Deshaun Hand was the third round pick. I could be wrong. I think Deshaun Hand was the third round pick. Because Crosby was fifth. Either him or Tracey Walker. I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now. He was the fourth. Okay. The third was the third round pick. Tracey Walker. I just forgot. Let's just say, all right. Tracey Walker was the third round pick. I don't know too much about Tracey Walker. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know who the hell Tracey Walker is. I heard that he's Darius Slay's cousin. Um, but when I seen on film and some of the highlights and some of the scouting reports on him, he has a lot of talent. He's good with ball skills. He can potentially be a corner, and I think Glover Quinn potentially came in this league as a corner. He had good press. He had a lot of similar traits to Tracey Walker. He was a good press guy. Tracey Walker had a little bit better speed than Glover Quinn coming into this league. A lot of people talking about he basically could be a strong safety. He's not gonna be a strong safety. Tracey Walker gonna be a nickel free safety type. He gonna be like an Eric Reed type of safety. I'm not talking about as far as a hit. I'm talking about the versatility of being able to cover and play the deep safety spot. Something like how Malik Hooker did for Ohio State coming to the coast last year. He in that mode of as an Ed Reed type of safety. He more Ed Reed than Troy Polamalu of his style. And I think they brought him in to groom him. I think it was a reach, but we all said that it was a reach for Kenny Galladay last year, and he panned out pretty good. I think Tracey Walker's another guy from a small school who played big versus Texas A&M, had another big game versus Appalachian State. He's in Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajun. He real lanky. He got good ball skills, and I think that's a real key for the Lions fans. Ball skills. We've seen a lot of corners out there, a lot of DBs we done had in Detroit, Bill Billy, Aaron Berry. I mean, a lot of sorry DBs we had who never got their head around to play the ball. That was a big that was a big issue for us. I mean, how many years do we see our corners not turning their head around versus Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall versus Dez Bryant, any receiver? I mean, they never turn their head around. Aaron Berry could have had 7 picks in that New Orleans Saints game a few years ago. I mean, well, a lot of years ago when we was in the playoffs. I mean, this dude legitimately dropped like 7 picks, didn't turn his head around. I couldn't stand that guy. I will never forget that game. But Tracey Walker's gonna be groomed to be Glover Quinn's replacement. It's as simple as that. They seen something they like in him. They know Glover Quinn is playing at a high level, but he can get injured. He can get old at any point. And he gonna be able to groom Tracey Walker to be that man. But he has excellent ball skills. That's something that you can't teach. I remember my high school coach said that ball skills, just the instinct and natural instincts for your hand, hand on the ball and defending balls and getting picks. And Glover Quinn is, in my opinion, one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 safeties in the league. So if you got an opportunity to learn from an all-pro type safety, I think that was a smart pick. For some reason, Killerbrook's not getting it in being a box safety. They might have to bulk him up and make him a linebacker. He ain't getting it. Tavon Wilson is just a depth guy. Obviously, I don't think we got Don. I think we got Don Carey. He's just a utility depth guy. Quadre Diggs is fire at the nickel safety position as well. I don't look for Tracey Walker to play that much this year, but I think he gonna eventually be seasoned and be eventually 2 or 3 years down the line, be a real starter and be able to replace Glover Quinn. I think physically he got to get in the weight room too. I think Glover Quinn will help him with that. But that's just my opinion on Tracey Walker. I haven't exclusively seen him. I didn't exclusively see Kenny Galladay. I just know he had a lot of talent, and Tracey Walker has a lot of talent as well. Get some more questions before I get to breaking down. Do you think that tackle we drafted could beat our Rick Wagner starting position Wagner? I know I don't. I mean, as far as Terrell Crosby, I don't think so. I mean, Rick Wagner was steady early this year. I think he got wore down, man. I think he got wore down. I think Greg Robinson mentally wore down his line. T.J. Lane also wore down Rick Wagner because he was injured this year. So, when you're playing next to somebody, it's real key that y'all both healthy and y'all both on the same page. I think Lang and Rick Wagner is going to, build a better relationship, and I think the line gonna be better overall, especially with better coaching. We need depth in the secondary. What if Slay goes now? That's a good question. I was a guy that was talking about Jair Alexander, and I mean, I don't want to give away the end of the video, but you see what the Packers did. They drafted like two corners this year. They got Kevin King last year. He had an Achilles injury. They building corners. Um, in corners. The thing about getting young corners, they take a long time to develop. They do take a long time to develop. Some of them. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore for the Saints came in and had a splash, but a lot of the times it take a long time to develop. A lot of these receivers baptize these young corners. I think Green Bay gonna have some good corners in the future, but this year, as far as our cornerback position, I mean, remember we got Deshaun Hand as well. He had a hell of a year last year for the Seahawks. So um, I don't see us having the potential number one corner replace Slay right now. But you still got Neville Lawson on the team. I don't like him, but you still got him. You got experience. We got rid of DJ Hayden. Tease Tabor gonna take over the second cornerback position. But if he don't do good, Deshaun Shedd is gonna go in for him. Jamal Agnew's gonna be the nickel. If he don't do good, Quadre Diggs will slide down to a strong safety. Killer Brew or Tavon Wilson to take over that spot. Deshaun Shedd is a good corner. I think he can hold his own at number one for now. But Darius Slay is irreplaceable right now for us. He's one of the last guys you want to see go down or have an issue. So I definitely agree. I definitely agree with Mr. Wesley right there. KJ should put on some muscle. Maybe that's. I mean, as far as y'all want him, Kerryon Johnson to put on muscle, maybe that's not his game. Um, being in the league, you're gonna put on muscle. You're gonna have bone density being a grown man. But I'm not worried about his size. I mean, if he did that in the SEC, I mean, I think he'd be okay in the NFL because he's not gonna take the carries that he took for Auburn. Remember that he's not gonna be that volume back right away. So he got LeGarrette Blunt to hang on to, and Theoretic, and potentially some other running backs. He'll be all right size wise. Hopefully they can find something in one of those undrafted corners. We got corners though, man. I will say that we do got corners, bro. We still got Lawson. I don't like him. We got Deshaun Said, I think from Seattle. He's really good. We got Tease Tabor, Jamal Agnew, who's gonna be the nickel. Tabor gonna be the two. You got Darius Slay. So I mean, you got corners. I mean, I'm not really mad about the depth, but if the depth is the issue in the corner, I'm pretty sure with the Lions' luck, injuries gonna hit the corner. Um, and Nate intro had me hype. Yeah, I like Nate intro, man. And he had the Beverly Hills Cap little thing going. Only thing better than Nate this draft was David Akers sticking it to the Cowboys fans. I love that. I hate the Cowboys. Have you seen the undrafted free? I've seen the undrafted free agent list. I don't know too much about a lot of them. I just glanced at it. No one gives Reddick credit. That man can work and receive. But yeah, Reddick is, if hypothetically you needed a slot receiver, Reddick would be a good slot receiver and a good third down back. Yeah, Denny Whitehead. No, it wasn't Denny Whitehead. It was he was good too. He was Baltimore. I was talking about Rex Burkhead. Um, Rex Burkhead is a white running back from the. Yeah, I like Burkhead, man. He won me a lot of money on FanDuel. Yeah, Walker was third. Okay, then we're gonna go to the fourth pick. I appreciate it, y'all. Fox and Iders. Yeah, I like this. I forgot we had Deshaun Shedd. I swear to God, until y'all brought it up about the cornerback depth, it just popped in my head. Versatility was the theme this offseason. Yeah, it was. The Lions had the versatility last year with Don. I mean, I don't know if Don Carey's still with the team, but he was real versatile for us. He wasn't really shit at no position, but he could play safety and corner. I mean, Quadre Biggs can play nickel and safety. You had Jamal Agnew who can return kicks and play the nickel. And then a lot of people don't know when he's at San Diego University, Jamal Agnew led the nation in pass defending. So deflected or pass breakups. That's what it was, pass breakups. So he got some skill there. He just got to get acclimated to the cornerback position. Tease Tabor, he could play nickel. He could play special teams. He could play the two corner. He probably could play some safety as well. I think at the end of the year he started to get it. And I think he knows what it is to work hard. I think Tease Tabor, aka Jalen Tabor's real name, might have a big year this year. What do you think our record will be? Like I'll talk about that at the end. I like Luke Wilson. I got a video. Luke Wilson. I know a lot of people that don't like him. He dropped this pass. I'm like, shit, that happens. Luke Wilson is a big play wide receiver down the field. He can give you something that Eric Ebron should have gave us. That's a threat down the field, stretching the middle of the field. As far as intermediate, I don't know. I just seen him always catch a lot of big passes down the field. But Russell Wilson breaks the pocket, and he improvises a lot. I just love that we're drafting bigger, faster, tougher talent. Yeah, yeah. I like that as well. It's a little bit changed from the what regular we drafting for best available with Martin Mayhew. Can't keep reverting safeties to corners. It revealed bad things, not natural position. I think it's more of a corner to safety thing. Yeah, I think it's more of a corner to safety thing. You talking about Tracey Walker? He gonna be a safety, bro. He just can play a little bit of. He just can play corner as well. I think it's more of us to convert corners to safety because Tease Tabor could be a safety. I mean, Quadra Diggs end up going to safety. Don Carey could be a nickel safety. Um, Glover Quinn used to be a corner, I believe, way back when before he got in the league. So it's different. Y'all check the young drafted free agents. I really didn't really look at it. It came across my news feed. Hand. I'm gonna get to Hand in a minute. I have a feeling Quinn and Wilson will be starting at safety. The battle between Killebrew and Walker for backup. Yeah, yeah. I think I think Diggs might get that strong safety position if Agnew can lock down the nickel position. And this is just a hunch. We still have Charles Washington behind Quinn too. Okay. You think Hand gonna start? I'm gonna get into Hand in a minute. I heard the fullback we drafted is absolute more 6'2". Yep, former quarterback, smash mouth. Yeah, he real physical from what I hear. I haven't really checked him out, but I know he's a former quarterback as well. So that's good. I like fullbacks. I love running behind fullbacks, even when I play Madden. But the fourth round pick, finally getting there, Deshaun Hand. He's the guy that was the number one player in the country over Leonard Fournette coming out of high school. His potential just never was reached at the University of Alabama. Excuse me, little back issues. It just never was reached. Um, a lot of people look at him as an edge rusher. He's 297. He don't look that way. He's real long arm. He's running 4.83. He may be a prototypical three technique in a defensive tackle position, interior lineman position, or he athletic enough to be your left end, your front side end. When an orthodox quarterback, and be able to play the run in, kind of get to the passer a little bit. He's a physical specimen. He's got short area quickness. His numbers just didn't add up to the potential he had. The potential never tapped into play. So I like him. He's real physical. He's supposed to be like a second, third round pick. He slid all the way to the fourth. I think they got to steal in Deshaun Hand. I think they're gonna be able to coach him up. I think he's gonna be more of a Richard Seymour-esque type of player in his Patriots. His Patriots and his Lions defense. I think he'll be able to be like remember Corey Redden. Do y'all remember Corey Redden? Corey Redden was our defensive end, and then he switched to tackle and switched on the inside. I think Deshaun Hand has some of those capabilities. He's real physical, real strong. You just gotta coach his fundamentals and technique up. If they can light a fire under him, I think he could be good. I think he got lost in the shuffle in Alabama with Ashawn Robinson being there, Deron Payne. You had a lot of guys amongst that front seven. Reuben Foster had a lot of different guys that he got lost in the shuffle, I believe. But yeah, I like that pick as well. The fifth round pick we talked about, Terrell Crosby. We can go a little bit about him. I don't really think he's gonna push Rick Wagner for the starting job right now. I think, like I said, I think Rick Wagner got messed up last year, y'all, with all the injuries. I think Greg Robinson really took that offensive line hurt last year. Everything had to be slided. He needed the chip. You had to worry about if he was giving up a sack. It was just mentally, pressuring on a lot of those offensive linemen last year. I think now that you bring in, you get rid of Travis Swanson, you bring in a good center, Frank Ragnow, you get rid of Greg Robinson. Now you got 100% Taylor Decker. I think the line is going to be good. And then you got a whole different coaching staff. Last year, offensive line coaching staff, I don't know what they were doing. Now you got a run game coordinator. The only real issue amongst the running the ball consistently is Jim Bob Cooter. He gonna have to call some better run plays, but I think the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator gonna have some good plays for uh, for Jim Bob Cooter this year, man. If not, he gonna be out the door if this don't click. His offense don't click this year. But Terrell Crosby is a good. He's real good, man. He's real physical. He'll play right tackle, left tackle, interior guard as well, interior lineman. I don't think he plays center. That's it, but he a good player. I think potentially he gonna be Rick Wagner replacement. Maybe by 2019 season he can push for that position. Maybe 2020. I don't know what Rick Wagner contract looking like though, man. Depending on what his contract looking like. But the 6th round pick, we didn't have one. 7th round was Nick Baldwin. You know, like he said, heard he's a beast at fullback. He embraced the physicality of being a fullback after being a quarterback. So if they keep him on the team, that means we're gonna have a lot of power fullback coming up the middle runs, and I think Nick Baldwin hopefully can stick with the team because we thought Michael Burton could. I see him catch a lot of good passes. They say Baldwin can catch the ball out the backfield, got some good hands. He a good blocker, real physical. And obviously, he led the Rashad Penny to some record-breaking numbers in San Diego State as well. Um, so the Lions draft was pretty good. We could talk about any more questions. Um, only pick I questioned was the 3rd round pick, Walker. The rest, yeah, Walker was questionable because we didn't know who the fuck Walker was. We still don't know who Walker. We just know he Darius Slay cousin allegedly. DB depth is essential. I agree. I like Green. I thought he shined at the end of the season. Yeah, me too. I love to see Green, beat out Abdullah Washington and Zach Zenner. Excuse me, I love to see that. But yeah. As far as tight end, maybe I think remember we got Michael Roberts from Toledo. The Mac. He had a good year with Toledo. Last year he really didn't get a chance like he should have, but he's a good handed catcher, good hand pass catcher. I think it's an issue as far as getting acclimated to the NFL for him. I think he had an issue with that. You know, tight end is a tough position to transition to, in my opinion. I like riding on Tracey Walker and Terrell Crosby up. Walker is a lot of the one that a lot of people didn't like now. But other than that, I thought the Bears had a good draft. I mean, Anthony Miller was high on my board. They got Raekwon Smith due to some Nick Chubb's dropping. He dropped to Denver and Chubbs and Von Miller. That's gonna be an issue, but that's a whole story for another day. But I like the Chicago draft. I hate the Bears too, but I like the draft. Raekwon Smith, Leonard Floyd over there with Chicago. Them two Georgia bookends. Their defense gonna be nice. They are missing some quality DBs. I mean, Amukamara been up and down. Kyle Fuller, I think he's still with them. He been up and down. They still got some holes to fill in that defense. They do, but they coming together. I mean, they helped Trubisky out this offseason with Allen Robinson, and Detroit product, Anthony Miller from Memphis. He's an excellent wide receiver. Yeah, he's an excellent wide receiver. They had a real solid draft. I see those first couple picks they had, man. Chicago is identifying they have an issue, and hopefully Trubisky comes through for them. But he seemed to be okay last year. But Kevin White didn't work out for them, and now they starting over with the skill position. So they had a good draft. I think Green Bay, they had a good draft as well as far as knowing they need DB help. I think pass rushing, they could have got some more pass rushing help, higher in the draft. I don't know what Green Bay is doing, to be honest. I just know they dropped a lot of corners the last 2 years. And Clay Matthews is getting older, and that front seven ain't looking too hot. Um, I mean, you got to identify the back end with the front end. The back end and front end work together. Your pass rush help your DBs out. Your DBs help your pass rushers out. And right now, Green Bay ain't got a lot of pass rush. They don't. So they got to look out for that. But they got some good DBs that can make some plays on the ball. But we'll see. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be asked to do a lot again this season. Had an okay draft. Minnesota, they did what they were supposed to do. They're going to have Dalvin Cook coming back next year. Um, you know, I'm not really familiar with their draft, but I know, the Packers did all right, but I know Chicago did well. It's going to be another good division. We was 5-1 in the division last year. Only lost to Minnesota on Thanksgiving. I feel like we should have won that game, but we didn't. But, hey, I'm going to give a draft grade. We're going to cut out of here. Ragnar should plug in. Oh, yeah, he plugged it in. I said Washington Zenner is out. Though, yeah, Washington Zenner. It's going to be Washington Zenner. It's only going to be one of those guys to make that position. It's going to be Green, Washington, Zenner, Abdullah. Those are going to be battling for the last spot, in my opinion. But this draft grade, if I had to give it one, I give Lions I'll give them a B plus. But I can't grade it like legitimately, until after a couple years and a lot of these players potential will materialize a little bit. But I appreciate you guys for coming on with us. We're gonna do this a little bit more often. We're gonna talk some Tigers. I mean, I know they looking horrible now. Some Pistons off season, no lottery coming up. I don't even think we got a pick. Gonna talk some more Lions through training camp. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some more Lions news coming through. As well, I'm gonna have my boy John G come on. He from the Cowboy. He runs a Cowboy page. He's from the DMV. So much respect to him. I had him come on. But other than that, man, appreciate you guys for rocking out with us, man. And we're gonna continue to keep giving good Detroit sports news and some current events in Detroit. Um, yeah, but like the last comment say on paper, O line looks nice, but up to the coaches to finish the job. Exactly, the coaching staff gonna have to finish the job. I think Patricia will work him in. Agree. B minus. That's fair. Is Hand playing going to play D tackle? That's a good question. I don't know if he's gonna be an end or a tackle. He can be both. What's the name of your other channel? It's a boxing channel, but I do more than boxing. I do NFL, NBA. It's called the Boxing Clinic and More. THA Boxing Clinic and More. Yep. I got a lot of subscribers on there too. That came up quick. This one coming up quick. I appreciate y'all. Pistons are stuck with Stan Van Gundy. Oh fuck. I hope not. I want Chauncey Billups to run the team. I agree with the B. The run was the objective. Yeah. Obviously, go lines. The run game was the major objective. The first two picks, and then the fifth round pick. With Terrell Crosby, they want to run the ball and be nasty, and I think they got to be nasty. Stafford should he's a top five play action quarterback. He should be number one this year if they're able to do that. But the only thing that scares me, I'm in on this. The only thing that scares me about the Lions in this offense and running the ball is Jim Bob Cooter. He seems clueless about running the ball. Yeah, he needed run game help. Stafford did. He drops back too many times. People talking about the 47 sacks he took last year. There's no way that Stafford should be dropping back and throwing the ball 50 times a game. I like to see Stafford dropbacks cut in half. I think he should be dropping back 25 times a game, and they should be running it another 25 times a game, legitimately, unless they're behind. You know, the run game should help shorten the game up for the Lions a little bit, shorten the snap Stafford drop back going, in my opinion. But I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter coming soon, Motor City Sports Talk. We will get new players with the cut before. Oh yeah, yeah. I wonder where Dez Bryant gonna go, man. That's be a good one. He turned down a deal with the Ravens. That was a good spot for him. But I appreciate y'all for coming on with us, man. We gone.